Hello, everybody. My name is Asia, and my final essay for English 101 is Children in the Digital Age and How Technology Shapes Modern Youth. My main, the main problem with that is technology does affect the youth. Sometimes parents don't see that it does until certain kids get older. There are some positives to it. This is the age of technology. This is the age of devices and using the use of technology just to communicate in just everyday life. But there are some negatives about that. The problem with that is it can a lasting use of it or so much use of it can cause certain effects on children, like cognitively, emotionally, and socially. Their how they interact with people in the future, how they handle tough situations, or how they you know react with their own emotions towards things or people. That can become a problem without parents even realizing it. So there were some solutions. There was one person that ended up, they created a V chip, and it was placed into television to help parents sort of monitor what their kids are watching or help basically block what their kids are watching. I mean, to a certain extent, that does help, but it sort of takes away the parents' sort of responsibility. That's what some people ended up thinking. Like, it's kind of like the parents are putting their responsibilities onto, this device, hoping that it helps. And I feel like ultimately the parents still need to intervene and to just, make sure that they are monitoring their children. I did come up with my solution would be to incorporate classes that focus on the cognitive, the social, and the emotional development of a child with the prolonged use of technology. So I feel like with the social aspect, um, these aspects need to be broken down into classes, and I feel like these classes should be mandatory. Even before the birth of a child, I feel like these classes should be implemented into the school curriculum for older kids. And these classes should be broken down into the different sections between cognitively, socially, and emotionally, so that parents and just people who are in charge of children and helping shape the youth are understanding the deep root of what the prolonged use of these technologies can be, and how they interact with people socially, when it comes to working, how do they handle those tough situations at work, and cognitively, like even from a young age, between the ages of 1 and 5, they're learning, and that's a critical age. And if they're without any parental supervision, and if they're intaking negative things, they're going to, you know, show those negative things as they grow up, and even at that young age. And emotionally, how would they handle tough situations, especially with youth? They live their lives through their devices and online, and if situations come up, how can they handle those situations? Sometimes that technology can take a toll on kids, especially youth, which can lead to depression and just mental illness and other things like that they don't know how to handle. So I feel like these things are important, and I feel like that it should be something that they incorporate and make it a mandatory thing that they start incorporating when, before kids are born or in schools or just parenting classes in general, because it's not it's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like it's a good thing for parents and people who help shape the future to understand that yes, there is some good to technology use, but there also needs to be a way people understand that, hey, we have to monitor what our kids are doing. So that is my final answer, and I hope you guys understand the importance of how technology shapes the modern youth.